multiple other first class.
Like the saying goes, if someone tells a lie, we need to tell more in order to cover the first lie. Going by recent events, that's exactly what is happening in Tinubu's camp. Recently, someone claimed to have attended classes with him in Chicago State University in the 70s. Arise News even did one video on it. But that has never been the contention of Atiku Abubakar. Since he filed this matter at the U.S. District Court in Chicago, he has never asked Chicago State University to prove whether Tinubu attended their university or not. It has never been the contention. What he's been saying all along, he's been consistent, is that Tinubu forged his certificate. It's just like accusing someone of stealing a car. The only defense the person could come up with is the fact that he has a car that looks like the stolen one. It still does not address the issue of whether he stole it or not. This is exactly what is going on. They've never addressed the issue of the forged certificate. This brings us to Koydon Palmer, an investigative journalist and an alumnus of Chicago State University. Although he wasn't there in the 70s, but having worked for the journal that Chicago State University used to produce, he is conversant with all the workers, former presidents, everyone that worked in Chicago State University for the past decades. So like many Nigerians, he too was shocked when he heard the story about the forgery. He was wondering why some of the people that signed the certificate that Tinubu submitted to INEC were not yet at the university in the 70s. Apart from Elnora Daniels that we know about, who became president of Chicago State University in 1998 and being 81 years old, she couldn't have signed the certificate in 1979. There's no way it would have happened. Mr. Palmer was able to identify another signature in the fake certificate, one Dr. Lubin, who supposedly wasn't a doctor as at 1979. In fact, according to him, he became a physician in 1984. So there's no way this person could have signed the certificate that Tinubu submitted to INEC. In concluding his article, he said that he hopes that Nigerian Supreme Court will do the right thing, that the whole world is watching now that it has become open that it is a forged certificate, that they should not entertain any other excuse, that they should do the right thing and uphold the law, which is what all well-meaning Nigerians have been saying all the time. Technicalities or procedural errors must never override constitutional matters. The fact that this has been brought before the judges, that someone who contested for the highest office in the land forged the certificate they tendered for that job, they must determine the matter based on its merit, not start looking for excuses, procedural errors, or technicality to say, hey, you didn't do it this way, you didn't do it that way, therefore remove this. No, the time has come to do the right thing. Looking back at Mr. Palmer's article, the only place you can disagree with him is where he mentioned that Chicago State University is the victim of Tinubu. This is incorrect, at least going by their actions so far. Let's start from last year. A Nigerian lawyer, Enahoreba, armed with a subpoena, approached Chicago State University. They obliged him with all the records listed in the subpoena. After receiving the documents, he now wanted to make the evidence foolproof, that no one can come and say, hey, they didn't comment on the forged certificate, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. He tendered the forged certificate to them and asked them, please, can you make a comment? Are you the one that issued this certificate? If they were really a victim as at that time, they would have just washed their hands and said, hey, we don't know this certificate, or this is not from us, or we don't know where this person got it from. They should have just done all this. But instead, they said, hey, give us all the documents we've given you under subpoena. Please, there's a mistake. We need to correct something. This is not the attitude of someone who is a victim. It is the attitude of an accomplice. Yes, because they didn't know he has forged the certificate. If they knew, all these documents and records they released wouldn't have been public up till today. It was because they wanted to cover up for him. That was why they told Enahoreba to return all the documents they've given him under subpoena. So in essence, what they wanted to do was to fabricate new documents and deliver to him. So that's not the attitude of a victim. Now, let's see what might have made them to behave in the way they did. And in any case that Mr. Palmer, the investigative journalist, sees this video, he should try and investigate the donation that Chicago State University received from Nigeria in the year 2000. Their president, as at the time, who happened to be Elnora Daniel, described the donation as substantial. Coincidentally, the same person that forged their certificate now was embroiled in another certificate scandal as at the same year. Yes, the Lagos State House of Assembly was investigating him for all the discrepancies and outright lies in the INEC form that he submitted while contesting for the governorship election in Lagos State. You all know the story of what happened. On the other hand, Ganifa Wemi of blessed memory took the Inspector General of Police to court so that the court will order him to charge Tinubu for perjury. In the end, the Supreme Court ruled that because of his immunity, he can no longer be charged for perjury. At that time, Chicago State University received that donation. So you can see all the connection. Maybe that was exactly why they did what they did to Enahoreb. They wanted him to return all the records they've already delivered to him. To do what exactly? Now to the latest one, when Atiku came to court in Chicago to get the subpoena because of the wide range of documents he required from Chicago State University. Why did they inform Tinubu? It doesn't look like what a victim will do. They should have just gone ahead and tendered all the documents, everything they know. And they keep saying that they don't have his international passport, they don't have his social security number, that they don't have all the documents that relates to how he paid for tuition and whether it was cash, whether it was anything. There is so much cover-up going on. It doesn't look like someone who is a victim. Someone that's a victim will wash his hands in the public and say, hey, we don't know this person. There's something wrong. In fact, we will provide all the records to prove that this guy is different from the person that got admitted. As simple as that. Another striking thing that Mr. Palmer wrote in his article is where he posed the question: if Tinubu is willing to forge his diploma, what else is he willing to do? Yes, this is very important. That's why the Nigerian constitution makes it clear that people who have this kind of character should never be near the office of the president. But it's a pity that the judges at the appeal court had to turn justice upside down. They had to rewrite the constitution in order to free him. It's very disgraceful. But there's a last chance to uphold the law. Everyone should be equal in the eyes of the law. Why wrongdoing persists in our society is because we do not take law enforcement seriously. And people who are law-abiding are vilified and mocked in the society. And once people get away with wrongdoing, it gives them the audacity to try again next time. Take Tinubu, for instance, in 1999, after he faced all the scandals and trials. The trial he faced at the Lagos State House of Assembly was made possible because his influence wasn't as huge as it is today. He knew he could have lost the office. And since he wasn't held accountable for his wrongdoing, he became even more audacious. Yes, he had to bring everyone under his control. If anyone doesn't want to come under his control, that person must have a price. Money will buy that person over. That was exactly what he did, as at the time he wanted to leave office, he made sure the Lagos State House of Assembly made a company that he has interest in the sole tax collector for the Lagos State government. In the beginning, the company used to take home 15% of the total revenues. All the taxes they collect for Lagos State government, they take home 15%. In fact, the name of that company was written into the law. You can imagine the audacity. They wrote a law based on one company. No competition, no other company can bid, only that company. The Lagos State House of Assembly also passed a pension law for governors. The law literally made him a car salesman because imagine receiving 6 brand new cars with SUVs every 2 years from Lagos State. That means in 10 years he will receive 30 brand new cars. Not to talk of homes in Lagos, in Abuja, security protection, even his house help are all taken care of by the Lagos state government. So you can understand, he dug into the state, made sure income continued flowing even while he's no longer the governor. That's why he's able to afford anything. Imagine buying homes worth millions of dollars for his kids in America. People who don't work, but they're able to afford homes worth millions of dollars because of their dad in Nigeria. So you can understand why it is very important to stop a crime at the early stages. Imagine if he was impeached because of the certificate forgeries and the false claims and perjury he made in 1999. Imagine the security challenges we have in Nigeria if they were handled at the early stages when they didn't even have many people working for them. We wouldn't be here today. So imagine what will happen if the Supreme Court fails to disqualify him in the face of all this evidence of forgery. Also, if they fail to annul the heist that happened on February 25th, what will happen in the future can only be imagined. Thanks for watching.